Hi, Leanne Ingram here, Superintendent at Comanche ISD, and I wanted to take a few more minutes to explain some of the more common questions we're getting regarding the bond and to renovate and to expand Comanche High School. And so the first question that we have gotten is people want to know, would bond money be better spent on pay raises for teachers and staff? And while we always love to give our teachers and staff a raise, in fact, we were able in 23 and 24 school year to give all of our teachers and staff a pay raise. Bond money can never legally be spent on pay raises. Bond money can only go for things such as capital improvements, such as school buildings or facilities, or things like equipment, or things like school buses. So we're pleased that we were able to give our staff a raise. And we are hoping that in the legislative session that the legislatures and Governor Abbott will be able to come to some sort of agreement to further provide a pay raise for teachers and for staff. So why now? Why now are we asking for the bond? A lot of people have asked, this is not a great time with interest rates. This is not a great time with the economy. So why would we ask for the bond now? And part of the answer for that is that we just know that historically the cost to build only increases the more time that goes by. And so talking to an architect, they told us that 10 years ago, construction cost to build a new school or to renovate a school would have been probably around $200 a square foot. And today, those costs are around $400 a square foot. So we just know that the longer we wait, our needs are not going to go away. And things such as the leaky roof or, the fact that we've outgrown the classroom or that we're 20 bathroom fixtures short, those needs are not going to go away. And the longer we wait, the more it may cost to actually remedy those repairs and remedy those things that need fixing. Another question that we often get is, has enrollment increased at Comanche ISD? And the answer to that is yes, enrollment has increased. It's really increased an average of about 10 students per year. And while that is not as significant or as large as some districts, like suburban districts around the Metroplex, for example, it's just enough that it's become a problem. We already have 4 classrooms that meet outside of the high school that are, unattached to the main building to accommodate all the students and all the classes that we need. And we worry about those students being isolated out there, those classrooms being isolated out there. We would prefer all of the classrooms to be in one building for security purposes with one main entrance. And that is one of the chief goals of asking for the bond, is to try to secure those students in the building along with all students and staff. So fourth question and final question I'd like to talk about today is, what would Comanche ISD do to try to eliminate paying any more interest than they would have to on this bond? And there are a couple of things clearly that we would try to do. Number one, we would consider putting some money down from our fund balance or our savings account. And we call it a fund balance in school finance, but it's essentially a savings account to help offset some of the cost of that interest. We also would be willing to sell our bonds off in 2 phases, which means we would take a bond out initially for the cost to maybe begin the construction project, and then you would wait a few months later and you would sell the rest of the bonds off and hope that, in hopes that the interest rate might have gone down at that time. And so those are some of the things that we could do to eliminate interest. Another thing to consider is that our money in our fund balance currently is drawing almost 5% interest. I think it's around approximately 4.82%. And so that money that is in fund balance is actually working well for us. That's money that from that interest that can go back into our general fund and can be spent towards things like teacher salary or staff salaries or even equipment and items and for curriculum or things that students need. So I just want to remind you that there are 2 days left in early voting, Thursday and Friday of this week, and the polls will actually have extended hours on Thursday and Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the next 2 days. And then that's it for early voting, and Election Day is on Tuesday. So we encourage everyone to go vote. Time is running out, and we appreciate you taking a moment to watch this video.